anybody anywhere in the world. We are all seeing that. We have clients around the world. We have partners around the world. Second is that it gives you the opportunity to support people irrespective of the location. Remote is becoming exceptionally important. You've seen people in surveys saying that they would like to continue working from home or at least adopt a hybrid model. And organizations are fine with it because they realize that there is not really too much of an impact on productivity. So technology continues to play the role of enabler, and I'm excited about it. And I'd love to hear how it plays up for the other panelists too. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Sridhar. I think one clear point was that when we say go conquer the world, and I think technology has just been that enabler to go conquer the world in true sense. Thank you so much, Sridhar, for the great takeaway. And when we talk about technology, I think we can't miss one guy who is one of the panel members here, Siddharth Rajsekar, who's actually taken up this vision of creating 1 million digital coaches all over India who are going to help people do a freedom business. Welcome, Siddharth, and I would like to hear from you in specific. How have you taken this game up of technology by using this digital coach and new strategies and improvements in the digital arena for the coaching industry in specific?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for inviting me. And it's an amazing panel here. And I'm looking forward to learning from all of you on your perspectives. But what has worked for me in the last 3 years, ever since, even before pandemic, I was anyway doing the whole digital coaching model and helping people, restructure their entire expertise in the form of courses, coaching, and consulting models within the same framework. So it's a different framework. It is not just about one-to-one coaching. It could also be group coaching and also leveraged coaching using, pre-recorded courses and videos. And there's a layer of gamification. I'll probably talk about that later on how to get people to take action in groups and also have elements of, where you can reward them based on the action that they take. So for me, the technology element has been huge, and I would look at this as two sides of the coin. On one side, because of technology becoming so much more accessible, Zoom is easily available. Anybody can call themselves a coach. Okay, so that's the other side of the coin where anyone can just give a tag that, okay, I'm coaching this, but they may not have the substance. They may not have the whatever it takes to really call themselves a coach. So that is one side of the coin. But on the other side, that gives an opportunity for anybody to teach anybody else if they are good at something, if they have an expertise in some area. And the scalability is huge. Like when I was doing live programs, I used to be doing workshops all over India, Middle East. I was probably reaching out to maybe 500 to 600 business owners in a year. Now, after the pandemic, I've been able to reach out to more than 70,000 people who have a login and password on my learning management system who are learning. Okay, not everybody is going through my courses. I can see like a 20%, 30% completion rate of what's happening. But the scalability and leverage that you can get out of digital, it is unimaginable. In fact, what we're experiencing here right now, this is a technology-enabled event. So yes, this is the future. And like Sridhar rightly mentioned, we got to think in terms of hybrid. Technology is great for reaching out, but to really create an experience, sometimes that live element is required. Yeah, so that's my views. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Siddharth. I think one very key point that you mentioned was leveraging. I think that is what technology has helped us achieve, to leverage our resources to the maximum level and to reach out to the people who really matter and to make the transformational change that they're always looking for. Thank you so much, Siddharth, for that. Moving on a very important point that Siddharth made here of different types of coaches and the coaching thing. I'll move on to Milind. And I would like to ask here, referring also to the session that we had with Molloy, something called niche coaching is coming up very, very swiftly into the coaching industry. What is your say on niche coaching that we talk about when we hear growth coach, reinvention coach? So how important is to identify niche for yourself as a coach and how you should actually do it in the coaching industry?
Thanks, Vijay. Very interesting question. And incidentally, I've been talking about a niche as one of the main things that would actually improve the results for the customer as well as the leverage for coach. Once we narrow down our focus on a particular niche, a niche where you are really good at, you're really expert at, you can bring in a lot of improvements in the client results. And that's why, having a niche is really important. And even if you look at the the trends in coaching, the key trends that are happening in the coaching industry, people are now more and more preferring the specialist or the experts in the area. So it's not just about the industry or the area that you coach. A niche within that area, is within that domain, is going to become very, very important, because now people want specialists. They don't want generalists to treat them. They want really specialists in that area to add value to their business. So I have been, incidentally, I've been coaching all types of business when I started coaching a few years ago. And in last few years, I narrowed down my focus on typically the engineering, projects, and manufacturing business. So this is the only type of industry that I coach, and it adds such a big value when I say, because of this selection of niche, I am actually able to say that I am the only coach in India who would be exclusively coaching your business, that is engineering, project, and manufacturing business. And that creates a lot of impact, because they don't have to explain their business to me. I can understand based on my experience myself of running a business into similar field. I have been running a industrial water treatment plant manufacturing company. I can relate to the pain areas, I can relate to the challenges, I can relate to the trends of the business, and that's how I'm able to add better value, because I can understand them much better. So impact that I can create for them, the passion with which I can coach an engineering business, is much more than when I coach, let's say, a professional like a chartered or a salon business or a restaurant business. So my passion itself is very, very high when I coach industry which I relate with a lot. So based on my experience, based on the focus and understanding the requirements of that business, it creates a very big impact, a very positive impact on the businesses that I coach. So that's, from that point of view also, it is very, very powerful to have a niche and become expert in one area. That's when you get results for your clients. That's what I feel.
Thank you so much, Milind. I think you have taken the tangent of niche to another level, because I think, as you rightly said, we hardly see coaches who have created a niche in an industry specific in the whole business world that we have seen. I think great get for you. We would also like to hear, I think, from Abundant Harish, has his own niches, I would say, with the wide experience that he has in business coaching. What importance does niche lie, Harish, in your experience from business coaching, and how important is it, and how should a coach actually identify his niche, like what Milind even has done, industry specific, or be it a segment specific in the business?
I want to mention here two things. Your heart and your mind is what you need to give to the people. And during these 18 months, having done more than 180 sessions, I realized it was here that what the trouble was there. So I created a program called Reset Your Mindset. Moving away from scarcity to abundance. And in this journey of creating that abundant mind, what they need to let go to become abundant. I've been speaking with leaders globally, in India, and individuals and professionals, just addressing one thought. Change the way you think, change the way you listen, and change the way you do. And what has happened is, let go the bad and ugly in you and become the person you were born to be. And you were born to win. Those great people in my life who have taught me, the Zig Ziglar, the Jim Rohn, the Brad Sugars, the Marshall Goldsmith, and the John Maxwell, I owe it to them, the new me. And 10 years back, I knew nothing about coaching. Today, I feel, other than cricket and hockey, every business owner needs a coach, because he needs to excel from where he was to where he needs to be. And I must confess here, those people who have survived the pandemic owe it to themselves this new life. And I'm happy that Siddharth has taken up on him that he is focusing on how to digitalize all this, which is speed, and success loves speed. So everybody on planet Earth who has 18 months, who has invested on himself, I too have invested in learning from Siddharth, I must confess. I didn't know anything. And today I'm working on a borrowed laptop from Satyam Garg here in Delhi. I still did not know how to work on a laptop. So I have, at 63, if I have changed, and my friends are changing, that shows that a new culture is emerging. And the sooner we move into this, the longer we will be, or these new guys are going to throw us out. So I confess, I got into the niche of reset your mindset because I've been dreaming about the new mind. Who you are needs to be redefined. And these guys have been redefining the energy that you need to give through digitization. I am proud to share that these young people are teaching the people who are sitting at home in their shorts or in their lungis or in their whatever it be. They need to invest on learning digitization and shaping up the new you. The more you learn, the more you earn. And that's what I've been teaching about everybody, and especially leadership today. They need to move out of their comfort and make themselves uncomfortable so that they can create a new leadership, and that is waiting to take off. And everybody needs to move into coach the coach, or coach the employee, or coach the people. The HR function has to also re-evolve. Every HR person has to be a coach from today. He has to listen, learn, and change. Don't say, I only do the PF or the scroll or the salary. You're beyond that. You got to emerge as the new leader where people need to be comfortable.
Thank you so much, Harish. I think what you mentioned clearly is the niche is always within you. I think it's just about identifying your niche and playing.
And I found it late in my life, but I found it.
Great. Thank you so much. And it was a great revelation at the age what you're talking about. Absolutely wonderful that you should learn to earn. Absolutely. Moving on to the next very important thing, which is connected to what Siddharth mentioned in his answer, that everybody today, especially after Zoom, is just calling himself a coach. So I would like to ask Sridhar here, according to you, especially in this times when everybody is now moving out and saying, I am a coach, and he's just shouting it out on the digital or social media, how important has qualification become in this coaching industry? To add to the credibility of you being or talking to yourself and talking to people that you are a coach, how important is the qualification credibility which lies behind you or maybe stands as a backbone to your persona?
Yeah, it's an important, Vijay, thanks for that. It's an important topic, no doubt. I want to see it I want to share this from the client's perspective. Now, first and foremost, I think everybody has a right to be who they want to be. That's the beauty of every industry, right? We all choose careers that we feel resonate with us. Having said that, from a client perspective, what does credentialing or certification or education do are two things or three things, right? One, it helps them understand that what is it that this person knows, or how is he or she when it comes to coaching. Have they gone through a formal program? Do they understand the do's and the don'ts? And in 11 years of being a practicing coach, my learning has been to focus on the number of don'ts that I should avoid, because coaching is about less and less about me and more about my client, right? And that's been the biggest lesson. Always do right by the client, including telling them, don't engage me. You need a more qualified coach. You need a more experienced coach. You need a younger coach, older coach. You need a coach from some other industry. You may need a counselor or a therapist. You may not even need a coach. So we have to do what is right by the clients. And I think that space, to get to that space where you're able to do right by the client, comes from deep education, comes from understanding the fundamentals, principles of coaching, which is about staying away from advice, staying away from giving tips and guidance to a client, rather focusing on enabling them, coming from a place of belief that they're more than capable of achieving what they like to. What's happening is there is some interference. How do we make them aware of the interference so that they can learn to own up, take responsibility, activate themselves, and go and do what they're capable of, which is incredible things. It's fabulous what they're capable of if we partner them, support them without bringing the I into that equation. So I think coaching education is important. So it helps the client differentiate one coach from the other. Second is it brings a certain degree of accountability. I can speak for myself and other coaches I'm aware of, and we all have to renew our credentials certain times of the year, and we have to go through. We have to have done certain programs or done certain amount of work or certain hours in order to renew it. Yes, there's a fee, you pay for it, but that's not the only reason that you're going to renew it, right? So credential matters, education matters. And I think it also brings in greater sense of ethics and accountability into it. And we inspire the next set of coaches who are coming along saying, let's invest in ourselves first so that we can serve our clients better. So that's my perspective on education, coaching, credentials, and I hope that it continues to grow and reach more people.
Thank you so much, Sridhar. I think yes, absolutely. Digging deep, I think education lets you dig deep, and I think what you said is absolutely right. Why should we as coaches limit our client to our capability limits? I think it's more important that he expands to his own horizons, and I think asking those questions and that education within us helps us ask those questions and get the best out of him. Thank you so much for sharing that great insight from you. I would like to go back to Siddharth, because I think he brought in this particular point of anybody and everybody calling. And Siddharth, I think you as a perfect example for this, how you have been transforming from 500, 700 people to the 50, 70,000 that you have actually got because of digitalization. What is, according to you, that you have brought in as credibility or qualification that has helped you take this journey of success from the way you have come up in your journey of coaching?
Yeah, thank you for that question. And see, this game is about results. Like if you can provide a path of least resistance for whoever you're serving, whether you're doing in a one-to-one format or in a group format, or even if it's a course format, whatever may be the media in which you're delivering that. If you're able to provide a path of least resistance for that person to achieve their goal, whatever may be the goal. So if you're a business owner, your client's a business owner, how they can achieve profits, how they can grow their business. So you have some tangible outcomes that which can come out of the whole process. So either it's in the business game, or it's in the career game, or it's in the health game, or the wealth game, or the relationships, or it could also be like I have people who are teaching guitar and music classes in my community who are creating online programs, but they're helping people achieve that goal in the path of least resistance. So the way that I look at it is whoever can provide it, whoever can design that path, either they learn it from others and it creates something of their own, a model that can provide them that solution, or they develop something of their own. So let me tell you, for example, the many people who want to take up certifications with the mindset, okay, I'll get more clients if I say that I'm an ICF certified coach or whatever. Now in my case, I don't have any of those credentials, but by learning from various mentors, I was able to formulate something of my own, which is providing the result. So that itself could be another thing. Okay, so again, depends on who you're catering to. Like in the case of Sridhar, the exec world, it's different approach over there. Here, I'm catering to a slightly different audience and people from various different backgrounds. It's not just about executive coaching or business coaching. Like I have even teachers who are teaching math, mental math for kids. Like they're creating now their frameworks. So coming back to the point, if your focus is on certifications to get better clients, no, that's not the right thing to look at. If your focus is on going to the certification to sharpening the skills, so that you can deliver that path of least resistance to your students, that's the right mindset. So the core of the message, what I want to say is a good coach is someone who's able to deliver a lot of results for the students. And it's not necessarily somebody who shows how many awards and how many credentials that they have. So I just want to put it that way and close it and give it back to you. Yes.
Thank you so much, Siddharth. I think a great perspective from you. I think a little in contrast to what she just said. education and qualification is important for us to dig deep, but at the same time, after getting in results which are tangible in nature for the business owners, I think that is what matters for the client and the business owner that is actually looking out for a coach. And I think thank you so much for those wonderful two perspectives. And I would just like to ask Milind to add up here, because the way he was talking about the niche of engineering niche that he's created in that industry, the passion, is that passion actually driving you in helping those clients in this coaching niche that you're having with them, or it's the back end of the qualification and your passion which is added up to make this a more comprehensive package for the client?
Yeah, Vijay, I think that's a fantastic question, and I think I would like to connect the qualification part to this niche part, because qualification is not just in terms of certification. Qualification also comes in the form of number of coaching hours that you have had in your kitty, how many businesses you have coached, what kind of results you have got for them. So all those are qualification parts. So for example, when you go to a corporate to pitch, let's say for executive coaching, a corporate will definitely ask you what are your qualifications, what are your credentials, whereas the SME business owner may not ask for that. SME business owner probably will go with either a recommendation, or he will find you out on internet or through some references or BNI. He will find you out and he will go with whatever you say, because he has not experienced coaching earlier. So there but people are now becoming more aware of what kind of coaches they should engage with. And now in that case, the previous experience, the coaching hours, the qualification, everything comes into picture now, because that's one additional benefit that you have, one additional reason that you have that they will engage with you. So if, let's say in my case, since I love this area of engineering project businesses, and because I have been running that business for more than 16 years, that expertise definitely comes to my help when I talk to business owners, and that expertise can be passed on to them very easily, effortlessly. So they get results out of that, and it builds a lot of confidence that yes, this person understands my language. When I say BOM, he understands it's a bill of material and it need not be explained further. And that kind of language similarity actually helps me. It basically gets easier for the customer also. It's not just for me, it is for the customer that it gets easier, and they can get better impact in the areas that they want to improve.
Thank you so much, Milind, for that wonderful perspective of yours on the same area. Now, I would like to go back to Harish here, because the kind of variety we have here, from Siddharth to Sridhar, Milind and Harish, there are panelists here who are amazing into their social media and digital marketing and marketing in general about their work that they are doing. And there are people who are just working on the coaching industry and not believing in actually, shouting loud on the social media or maybe marketing themselves well. So Harish, on your experience, we would like to know, marketing has evolved in the past years, especially in the last 2 years, and how, as a coach, you should actually go out and market yourself, because here you're talking about a very, very clear niche, and it's not a product or service which is just generally available everywhere in the country. So how is it evolved, and what is your take on it?
Before I address this question, I want to share my personal story that this man is over-invested in learning. 10 years back, one girl met me. He said, "Sir, do a ICF." And that triggered the whole lot of learning from the great gurus who have come in my life. So when I said invest in learning, not just for an ICF, I may be the most over-invested guy in the industry today, not only in India, but across. Over $150,000 on myself. And my children would say, "Leave some money for us at this young age of 53. You're investing on yourself." So I must confess here, for those people who are listening, learn to invest in yourself and stop eating more, start listening and learning more. Invest on that. Number two, Marketing, tell people the truth, what has changed you. If I had not invested these 10 years of mine, I would not be speaking the way I'm speaking. Today, you wake me up anytime in the morning, evening, night. I can speak across the globe on how to become better, better, and better. What Siddharth is saying, results. Results is become the person you need to become by doing it over and over and over again. So, consistency, clarity, and master communication. When you address these three words, bring clarity to your life, who you are, who you want to be, and what do you want to leave as a legend or an ordinary man. 2, how you communicate to the people speaks the truth. And I know people use a lot of marketing tools, marketing agencies. When people come to me, I said, how do you add value to me? I need to add value to you by giving my name. Because where I come from, you need to speak the truth that this is what I will do with you. And as action coach, I know Brad, when I met him 10 years back, he said, you will be $1 million coach. Now ask yourself, how many $1 million coaches we have in India? Do they know how to count those zeros? And everybody, as Siddharth says, wears a chappal and says, I am a coach. Look at that. What do you need to become? First, learn and invest to become. Then talk about it from your heart and your mind and let people believe in you, that you are a real person who can do that. And I must congratulate Siddharth because I've known him closely. He's been doing it morning, evening, night. I was his age 20 years back. Maybe I would have been learning the same thing. But I know people above me, Les Brown, Marshall Goldsmith, Brian Tracy, if they can do it, I can do it at this age. That's the energy which keeps me alive. And Vijay, I listen to these people every day. 3 hours of learning, listening, and then I capture that and put it in my words that this is the gurus who have taught me. So it's very important. And those people who are still sleeping, get hold of somebody who can teach you to become better and better and better in life. And this new life is going to stay. Don't think you're going to go back to those old days. Mind you, all those people will perish who don't encourage learning for themselves, for their family, for their organization, for their colleagues. Learning is there to stay, and find a coach who knows more than you so that you can become better in less time. So that's my give, that the more you do, the more you have. And when I say what you do today is going to give you results tomorrow. So keep doing and keep giving to people. And the moment I started writing abundant, I started giving more. Morning, evening, night, be abundant, give more. Remove the scarcity mind in people and make them think that they are meant for more, more, and more because they have survived the pandemic. They need to give more to this world. And look at those people who have suffered. They are no more there. It's your joy to give it for them to the rest of the world for the next balance 20, 30, 40 years that you're going to be. And Siddharth, I'm proud of you. Great going. Enjoy this giving and love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Harish. Thank you for bringing up actually those 3 C's in this coaching arena as we see the 4 C's in diamonds. And I think very, very well said. I think it's about storytelling. It's about, because people want to hear the true story about yourself rather than, just copying, pasting from anywhere. Thank you for sharing that marketing perspective with us. And before we move ahead to the last point on the agenda today, I would like to also hear from Siddharth, because the way he's out there in the marketing field of coaching. Last 60 seconds from you on what exactly a coach should project himself as in this marketing arena, which is a noisy world today.
Okay, so I'll keep it really crisp. Number 1 is you need to know what specific problem you want to solve. 2 is you need to know who you want to serve, like who are you solving this problem for. Once that is clear, then the third step is you need to have a method or a tool either you've gone through certification or some process where you can provide that solution to the problem. And then comes the marketing. Marketing comes once you know what you're able to deliver. So the marketing, again, you look at it, first phase of marketing is how do you put yourself out there and be visible? Like in BNI, they say visibility, credibility, then profitability. So get visible first, get on LinkedIn, get on wherever your audience is, start putting yourself out there, either in the form of videos or podcasts, where you can share the solutions to whatever questions that they are asking, and link that back into maybe a webinar or something where you can train them, educate them, engage with them, and then set the expectations, and then you can offer your services, and then you can sell what we have to do. So that's the whole approach. Once you know who you want to serve, how you want to serve them, what's the method, and then you come to the marketing part later. Marketing, there are so many things you can do, like paid marketing, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, organic. That's a whole world. But the key is the marketing comes once you know very clear about what exactly are you delivering to the market.
Thank you so much, Siddharth. I think KYA, know your audience, and then show them your intellectual self, what you can offer to them. I think that's the key takeaway from what you have mentioned here. And thank you so much for sharing your experience. I think it will be a great takeaway for all the listeners. Sridhar, on the last question that we spoke about certification qualification, we have a question in this panel here that kindly suggests the certification that we should go through to have the official qualification in the coaching industry. That's a specific question that has come up. What will you suggest to them?
Well, I would not suggest a name because there are lots of institutes, all of them offering services. It goes back to what Siddharth said. Right now, who do you want to serve? So if you're looking at focusing on corporate segment, then there are certain programs you want to go through. If you want to look at business programs, then there are business audience or entrepreneurs, then there are other programs that you can sign up for. What's important is to understand what happens to you when you go through the journey of getting credentialed or getting certified. You become aware of the nuances of coaching, the fundamental principles of coaching, and you start practicing it. It doesn't matter where you come in from, as long as your faculty is good, they're experienced, and you believe that they can deliver value to you in becoming educated as a coach. So I would leave it that. There are lots of them. Do your research, like we would do with our clients. Take ownership for what you think is right for you, and do your research and sign up for the right program. It'll serve you.
Thank you so much, Sridhar. I think yes, absolutely. There are a hell lot of programs out there with a lot of agencies out there actually giving you the kind of certification required. It's about you actually doing the research and seeing the right fit for you and going for it so that you can be the best version of ourselves. And that is what we also help as coaches to our clients. Thank you so much, panelists, for the wonderful, takeaways that we have had in this session. And over to Pooja for the closing comments from the panels or anything that they would want to take it up to close this session right. Thank you.
Yes, actually, Mr. Johar, since we're short on time, unfortunately, we would have done a Q&A otherwise. So since we are not in a position to do Q&A, I'm going to request you to summarize the whole thing maybe in a few sentences, which will be like a very easy take home for our audience.
Okay, great. So on behalf, and I'll take the liberty from all the esteemed panelists here to actually sum up those points that we had actually covered. I think the first thing that we covered, the first key takeaway was technology, what we always saw as a disruption, is now a tool to reach out to conquer the world. I think it's how you're going to use it is what is going to make the difference in you and your industry and your business in specific. About the new creative and innovative strategies, I think putting out the course materials, putting out your intellectual self, as Siddharth Rajsekar has done, scaling it up from 500 to 700, it's all in your hands. It's just going out, learning how to do it and giving it your best shot, and you will have those audience because there is an audience for every niche and every style of personality that you see in this industry. On the niche coaching, we saw two kind of niche coaching here. One is, I think, specific to Milind. I would say that is